Hey everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. It has been an action-packed time for us, and I am so grateful for all of you who keep showing up. Keep thinking about how this might be a wonderful thing for you to be a virtual assistant. So, as you guys come in, welcome, welcome. Come on in. This is a talk that I give about once a month, and I've given this talk all over the place for lots of different organizations because people want to work from home. People want to make a decent living. They want to be able to work while taking care of kids. They want to be able to work while caring for a parent. There's so many life circumstances that don't fit into a 9 to 5, and I think that's one of the reasons that VA school, I'm sorry, being a virtual assistant is, I've said VA school so many times, right? It's like my name. Why being a virtual assistant is such a great thing. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the questions that people have asked me in the past, and then I want you to ask questions too. And please put them in along the way. You don't have to wait until until the end, because what I'd love to do is have a dialogue about each one of these questions and hear what you think. Now, why don't you come on in the chat and let's get a little warmed up, all right? And say hello, tell me who's here, and if you have any questions right off the bat, that would be awesome. So I'd love to know, first of all, how many of you are VAs, and how many of you are thinking about it. And I know that when the Kickstart Challenge just started, and we were getting going, I was in the indirect messages with a couple of hundred of you, and just trying to find out. Lynn says, I can't get enough of you. Lynn is one of my VA school students who I can't get enough of either. But a lot of you, you were like, well, how do I start, and what do I do, and what is this thing? And someone said, you should be a virtual assistant, and you have no idea what they're even talking about, or how the work comes in, or how the flow goes. So I want you to really think about what's stopping you from making a decision. Being a VA might not be for you, right? It totally might not be for you. However, get the questions answered that will start you into knowing, right? Start you to be into that knowing place, because knowing, that's a really important part. That's a really important part of making this work, is that you want to do it. So Samantha says, oh good, you guys, this is awesome. I'm in the process of starting it. I have a domain. I'm working on the website. That's awesome. And Joanne says, I'm thinking about becoming a VA. Yes, okay. And this user says, hello, this is my first time participating on live in this group. I'm classically trained assistant looking to build online business platform to include providing VA services. Well, that's really interesting, because I'm a classically trained assistant. I went to secretarial school in my 20s. I learned how to type like a maniac, and I did very traditional things. I supported account executives in a big American company. Well, it's called GE, General Electric, and I was the administrative assistant. Actually, I was the executive assistant to the chairman of the board of not a big company, but a global company, and doing very, we had typewriters back then. And so those skills really do translate. It's funny. So if you guys didn't see earlier today, I had some time with Diane Otten. She's one of my VA school students, and she's a hairdresser. And, because I know at my core that we all have skills we can use as a virtual assistant, it never occurred to me that would be a barrier for her, thinking, well, I'm a hairdresser. But she brought it up today, and it really was an aha moment for me into her thought process as she decided to become a virtual assistant, because she said, the things that I do for my kids' school, or I help my dad, or, the PDFs I make, or the, whatever it is. She said, when I realized that I could get paid to make those, it's like I think it was like, she didn't say this, but it was like her brain exploded, right? Because all of a sudden, all these ways that she can make money being a VA started to come in. So absolutely. I think the thing about being a classically trained assistant is that a lot of what successful classically trained assistants know how to do is figure stuff out. Your boss is at the train station and the train has changed, but the meeting hasn't, and he needs to get to Frankfurt, and you just like step in. It's a figure it out thing, and cool under pressure. So I think that those skills absolutely will benefit you in this, and there will be a lot of new cool things that you can learn as well. And I just was talking to Danny Burt today, who has been a virtual assistant for a little while, and she was talking about her favorite thing is that you learn so much from clients, and that's true because my clients are in all different industries. They have all different kinds of work that they're working on, and so you can really expand your business and your skill set while you're working. Okay, great. So this is great. So welcome, you guys. Thank you for coming. I'm Belinda Sandor. I am the founder and chief cheerleader. That's such a hard word to say. Cheerleader at the Virtual Assistant Connection. And at the Virtual Assistant Connection, we help aspiring and new and established virtual assistants really create, grow, and scale their business using the skills they already have. So here comes someone. I helped our church secretary make and post graphics to social media after everything shut down. Yeah, that's great. That's great. A lot of my skills I got volunteering. I helped a friend do something. It's really so. Here's the thing about it. It's not like you're becoming a nurse and you just started as a nurse and you don't know anything about being a nurse. It's not like that. You're really more like a human being helping another human being solve a problem. Like they have a problem and you're the solution to the problem, whether it's, how do I organize this event, or how do I update my website, or how do I buy gifts for, these 13 people, or how do I send out the social media? And if you think of yourself as the solution to someone else's problem, you can see. I mean, I've worked so many hours helping someone with their schedule, or like I said, buying clients gifts. Someone will have an event, they have speakers. Belinda, can you buy chocolate for these 5 people? You bet. I get their address, I pick out the chocolate, I show the client, I draft a note, thank you note, I ask them if it's okay, they say yes, I get the credit card, boom, it's done. Right? Boom. So simple everyday things are really valuable when you're working with busy entrepreneurs. So back to the VA connection. How we get you guys going in your businesses is through our global community. We have 23,000 members in 47 countries in the Virtual Assistant Connection, and also in our courses and coaching programs. That's how we get you guys on the road to being a VA. Now, you said some of you are new, so whoops, over-clicking. Some of you are new here. So I want to let you know that my business is thriving now, but it always wasn't the case. I've been making $100,000 a year or more for the last 10 years. But the beginning of my business was really a rough start. So this is me and my little girl. She just turned 21 yesterday, and I can't believe it. And this was us 11 years ago when I was starting my business. And it was a rough spot. I'd always pretty much had everything handled and pulled together, but it got away from me. My life got away from me, and I was getting divorced. And so now I'm alone raising this little girl, and I don't have a job, and I have a ton of debt, and we're going to have to move because I haven't paid the mortgage in a year. And so it was really stressful, and mostly it was stressful because I didn't know how to solve it. That causes a lot of anxiety for me when someone gives me a problem and I can't figure it out. I'm just very uncomfortable. And it's probably one of the reasons that I've been successful at being a VA is I'm just really committed to figuring things out. So very overwhelmed, confidence bashed, like totally bashed. You can imagine dissolving a marriage. There's a lot of things that get said and done, and all the things. And I was about to turn 50, and it's funny because I'm 61 now, and when I was 50, I felt so much older than I do now. Like I didn't see how much runway I had left. I don't know why. It was probably because things were so dire and depressing that I wasn't really sure how. I didn't think I could feel like this. I really didn't, and I really thought that because of the choices that I had made, I wasn't going to be able to pull out of this. So I was just trying to figure out, like, how am I just going to make this work? How am I going to make it work? And I didn't want to go back to work because I had Emily when I was 40. And I always wanted to, my point there is that it took a long time to have her. And I didn't want to, I didn't want her to be shuttled around, and not see me and me have some big corporate job, or even, a small, like a job that I don't even know if I could get a big corporate job anymore. I hadn't worked in that environment for 10 years. And so anyway, I decided I wanted to do admin work because of that training that I had in my 20s. I liked that work. I was an office manager at one point, and I liked helping people. I liked bringing order to things. I like organizing things, and I wanted to do that. So I decided, I didn't even know what a virtual assistant was. I had no idea. I'd never heard of that. And so I started telling everyone I know, and fast forward, the first client I got at the school bus stop, I told one of the dads. He said, "What are you up to?" And I said, "I'm starting this business." And he hired me practically like right there because he'd known me, he trusted me, he just started a business. I had no idea, and he was drowning in the admin, and he needed a solution to this, and that was me. And it was really great. So if we fast forward, I've worked with over 225 clients in 11 years, and literally made $1 million. I'm sitting in this chair that I'm sitting in right now. And I was able to do this when I was ready to make some changes in my life. I started making decisions from a different place. I wanted to change where my life was going. I had no idea how to do it. I was overwhelmed. I felt powerless. But I got mad about it. I just started to get mad that, like, how did this happen? How did this happen? And I started to shift what I was doing. So like I said, I got my first client at the school bus stop. And, the second person I had as a client, I met in the wedding, a buffet line at a wedding. So clients are really everywhere. When we learn how to talk about our work, and when we get clear about what we need to do, it's not hard to get a steady stream of clients, which was why all of last week was, just about that. And you don't have to go on social media. You really don't. And if you have been in Facebook groups where someone posts a job and 1 million people jump on it, and it's like a feeding frenzy, I want you to don't do that. Don't do that. That's not how you get high paying quality clients. And in fact, that's how you get disappointed. That's how you get scammed. And that's how you get your heart broken when it doesn't work out again. And you start telling yourself you can't do this. That's because it's not done like that. If you go over to the Virtual Assistant Connection, the big community that we have, and you look at any job posts, as soon as someone posts it, we shut the comments down, because I want you to have the opportunity to see if this is a real, job possibility, client possibility. But I can't bear watching the feeding frenzy. And to me, it's like throwing, meat off a boat and all the sharks come. Like, that's what it feels like. So I'm going to teach you how to do it in a completely different way if you decide to work with me. And one of the things you can do is go back. Let me put the banner up. You can watch the replays from last week, and I'll teach you exactly how to get clients. Okay, it's at vhchallengereplay.com. So no cold calling, no niche, no social media. You don't have to do any of that. In fact, I recommend you don't niche down right away, because I think you're really going to limit who you can work with and how much you can learn from, who you want to work with. Because how do you know? How do you know if you've never done this before, right? All right, so that is why I invented VA School, because there's a lot of noise out there, a lot of people talking about all of these things that they say that you need to do that are just not true. They are just not true. And I want to help you end the struggle, and I want to help you get on your way, get on your way. So we're going to take just a quick overview, a quick tour of the school. And here's my goal. My goal for today is for you to, so let me tell you this. Doors are open for enrollment right now. They're closing at midnight tonight. And if you're thinking about this, I want you to make a crystal clear decision. There's so much power in clear decision making. So, well, maybe not now. I feel a little this, I feel a little that. I don't want you to make the decision from a feeling. I want you to make it from a knowing inside what's good for you. And about a year ago, I signed up for a big, scary program. And it was because there were some things I wanted to learn and some things I wanted to do and some, some um, expertise I wanted to gain for myself. And I went out in the backyard, and it was very, I don't want to get into all the details, but it was very big stretch for me financially. And I went out in the backyard by the garden, and I called one of my friends, my friend who believes in me, my friend who knows me really well, and he understands my business. And I said, "Hey, I am thinking about doing this big, scary thing." And he said, "Okay, all right. So what's going on?" And I talked to him, and I was kind of babbling, I'm sure, and it was the money, definitely. But more than that, I had to make sure I was ready to do the work, and to get the benefit of that. And I took a deep breath and I said, you know what? I've got this. I can do it. It's not going to be comfortable right away. I'm not going to see a big giant return immediately, probably. And I stepped into it, and it was a good decision. I learned a lot. I got where I wanted to go way faster than I would have on my own. And I had the luxury of having someone I could talk to, so I didn't have to overthink things and worry that I'd done the wrong thing. And if I did do something that wasn't in my best interest, I had advice on how to fix it. And that was worth every penny of the investment, to have that kind of relationship with someone who's already done what I want to accomplish. And so that's why I want you to get to a solid yes or a solid no, because you're really going to be doing yourself a favor. You're really going to be doing yourself a favor to take a stand. It's going to boost your confidence too. I guarantee that. All right. So VA School is really for you if you loved everything we did in the challenge, and you want to take where you are now to the next place. You want to keep going, and you want my help doing it. Okay. So it begins tomorrow. You can sign up till midnight tonight, and it'll be a way to get your business and cut the confusion, cut the chaos, cut the overthinking, cut the table setting, all of the things that we do to get in our own way. All right. Now, for all of you who join me, you're going to get this super duper bonus, an entire session on discovery calls. And if you don't know what a discovery call is, that's what people usually call a conversation with a potential client. And we're going to talk about what to talk about, what not, what to ask, what not to ask, how to talk about your services, how to talk about your pricing, all of that, so you can get confident and really feel good about these discovery sessions. And I'm not going to spend too much time here because we've talked about this a lot. But essentially, there's 70 pre-recorded videos in VA School with everything that I know about being a virtual assistant after doing it for 11 years. And these are the first 5 modules, and then these are the second 5 modules. And then this other side of VA School are the study halls. And the study halls, the videos are self-paced. The study halls happen twice a week for an hour on Zoom. Our little group will come together, and we will celebrate quick wins. I'll teach something for a couple of minutes, 10 minutes, we'll have a discussion, and then we open it wide open for Q&A. We share screens, we talk to each other, we have a conversation, and we help everybody get the answers that they need during the session. All right. So let's jump into the bonuses. There are a bunch of bonuses. The first one is the debit card system. Now, if you don't know about the debit card system, yesterday at noon, we did about an hour-long call all about that. This is how I get paid upfront for my work. I don't have to do any invoicing, and I don't have to chase bad debt. So clients prepay my time, and the debit card system will get you completely set up. This is a standalone course. I also include the Done For You email newsletter system. We did a session on that today at noon. The replays are both in the Facebook group. You can find them there. And this is where I teach you everything you need to know to create your own email newsletter, because this is the fastest way to get clients. And what's cool about this is when you figure out how to do your own newsletter, now you have the skill to do newsletters for other people. And now you can charge for this skill that you learned for yourself. We also have the template library included. There's 14 templates that I use every day to run my business, so I'm giving those to you. I'm really trying to just give you everything I can think of so that you'll be successful, and and we can get this done for you. There's a live Facebook group. We have for 6 months. I'm in there almost every day, sometimes twice a day, and that's where the community really starts to come together and help each other. And then the Rocket Girl Show is a collection of videos that I've made. I add a new one each week. There's over 130 of them in there on all kinds of topics to run and grow a successful and profitable VA business. And then VA School will eventually, right now it's priced at $15.97 or 6 payments of $279, but eventually it'll be going up to $19.97. So when you add that all up, that is $3,597. Oh my gosh, you guys, I thought I updated this. I really thought I did. So this is, so you can be a virtual assistant and not have your slides ready. So I'm going to buy this, but it's 6 payments of $279 or 1 payment of $14.97. The price went up earlier this week. Okay. All right. Are you ready to jump into this? All right. All right. So I want to talk about what is a virtual assistant. And it might be a really basic question, but there are some people who are new that think it's one thing and it's really another. I remember one of my VA school students, her name is Lana. I love her. She said to me, "Oh, I thought I had to do social media." I said, "No." And I was like, "No, you don't have to do social media. You don't have to do anything." And that's what makes it so great, is you can really bring your skills and your best self to your clients, and you don't have to do things that you don't like or don't want to do. So the other thing is you don't need a ton of certifications or special skills. So let's jump in. Okay. A virtual assistant provides administrative, technical, or creative assistance to clients. But instead of working full-time for one person or organization, he or she works virtually, usually from home, providing these same types of services to a range of clients. Now, I want you to just snap a picture, write it down, because there's going to be a moment in time in your future, I guarantee, where you're going to get confused and your voices are going to take over and you're going to make up that you need to have certain skills to be a VA. So I really want you to know that you don't. You can be a bookkeeper, you can plan events, you can update websites, you can schedule meetings. There's not some ideal set of skills, okay? And I hope you see how exciting it is that this is so broad, right? It's really good news. And a lot of people will tell you, in order to make the big bucks, you're going to need really technical skills, or you're going to, need to be an expert at social media. You're going to need to know how to build funnels or help clients sell programs or products online. But it's just not true. It is 100% not true. You don't need to do that. And the thing is that my story and the story of so many clients that I've helped it's absolutely living proof. So we're going to dig into this, all right? Because as a VA, you also get to decide when you work, where you work, how much you're going to work, and how much you're going to charge. All right, you get to decide that. And it's very, very different from having a job. Very different. So these are the 7 questions that that I put together, and no, by no means do we need to limit the conversation to this. This is just what I thought we would start with. So are you ready to work on your own? What do you need to get started? Where do I get clients? How much money can I earn? What training is required? Can I work part-time? And who hires virtual assistants? Okay, so please don't be shy, all right? Don't be shy about this in the comments. All right, so are you ready to work on your own? That is a really big question, because you have to be able to get yourself in your seat, right, to do this. So here's the first thing. Do you want to take charge of your life? Do you want to decide, when you work? Do you want to decide who you're going to work with? Do you want to decide how much you're going to earn? Because that's a big part of being a business owner, right? You have to make these decisions, and while you might not be comfortable with doing it yet, is that appealing to you? Like, that's the question. And I love to hear in the chat, is that appealing to you to be able to make those decisions? The next thing is, are you self-guided? And what I mean by that is, can you get yourself to your desk? Will you meet deadlines for clients, and will you follow through with your ideas? Because this is important as well. So who wants to do that? All right, let's talk about risk. Okay, so how much risk are you willing to take? This is really interesting because I used to think that having a job was safe, and then I got laid off. And then I realized that there's a thing that you have when you have a job, and I call it a single point of failure. So a single point of failure is when one person one day decides they don't need you to work in their business anymore, right? And that's your job. And that's where all your income likely is coming from. And that's it. That's the end of the day. And I've had so many friends, call me, and, family members, and, it's like, hey, I got laid off today. It's like, oh, wow. Like the party just stops right there. And the thing is that because I have clients, multiple clients, if one leaves, it's no big deal. In fact, I expect it. Clients move on. I have right now about 20, I think about like 22 or 3 clients right now. But at some points I've had 53, and I've worked with over 200. So they definitely come and go, and that's just a part of the business. But really, if 3 of them left today, I'm okay. I'm completely okay. And I also know how to get clients. So I don't really need to worry about it. So look at the risk in a different way, because I am self-reliant. I am not dependent on an employer to provide work for me, and to pay me. And it's an interesting way to think about it, and I'd like to hear who gets this, like who gets this risk thing, because I really, when I started out, I thought, am I insane? And, one of the things that, somebody told me, this was funny, and I thought he was joking. I said, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to pay for health insurance. And he said, yeah, just make more money and pay for it. And I thought he was kind of being, like a little bit of a jerk when he first said that. And he said, no, just make more money and pay for it. And it clicked that I'm in charge of how much money I make, and I can pay for it. And I do pay for it. I pay for it, I pay for it every month, and I've been paying for it every month for 11 years. And in the beginning, it was a little dicey, sometimes, but it's not dicey anymore. I actually, it's become a small expense compared to how much money I'm able to bring into the business. Okay. So I love being self-reliant. I love it. All right. So what do you need to get started? You need a dedicated workspace. It doesn't need to be big, but it's going to be a waste of time if you have to keep picking up all your stuff. Okay. So you definitely don't want to do that. You're going to need a computer and a phone. And when I started, I had a notebook and a pen. That's it. That's it. In fact, I didn't even have a computer that was up to speed. So one of my friends had a credit card account with Dell Computer, and I borrowed it. And I bought the computer I needed, and I got it, and I started making monthly payments. And then after a while, I paid it off. I just paid it off. And that felt great. That felt really great. So sometimes we do need to be creative when we're starting out, to figure out how this is going to work. But a dedicated workspace is important. Most of my office, I have an office now, which is very luxurious. I moved in here in 2020 when I realized the kids were not coming home anymore, and except Emily, who has her own room. But I moved in here. But every other place that I've lived, I had something just a little bit wider, like maybe this much wider than my desk, pushed up against a wall, and that's where I did my work. So it doesn't need to be big. You need to be able to talk about the work you do in a way that people understand what you're talking about. And you also need to talk about it in a way that they can remember. And we learned how to do this in the Kickstart Challenge last week on day 2. And like I said, it's not too late to watch those replays. And they're available until tomorrow. They're available until tomorrow. So check it out. So when we're new to business and we're not prepared for the question, what do you do? We just start talking. And so I teach you how I should count how many words, but probably, I don't know, 20 words, how to say what you do in a way that people understand, can remember. And then I ask you to do this. Just stop talking, okay? Because you're not trying to get hired in that minute. What you're doing is you're making sure someone else on the planet understands what you do. So that is really important. The other thing you need to do, and we talk about this a lot in VA school, is you need to be crystal clear about your pricing. When you get paid, how much you get paid, and you need to be able to talk about it. And I know that some of you, when you're new, you won't have that money conversation. You won't talk about the money. You'll say, oh, my rates are on my website, but that is, you've got to step into it. And the beautiful thing is I'm going to give you the exact words to say. The exact words that I say, you can modify them, but you want to really keep it simple. And we have this new thing that came from the challenge. One of the brand new VA students, Tracy, came up with this. The KISS acronym, keep it simple. We changed the last word to sweetheart because I don't like the word stupid very much. And now she came up with, it's the keep it simple system. So that's what we have here, running the keep it simple system. Okay. Because it's not rocket science, but there are things that need to be thought about and they need to be addressed ahead of time. Okay. Now, where can I get clients? Well, the first thing, if that's your question, I want you to scoot over while you have time and watch those 5 videos, the replays, and I'll put this back up for you. VAchallengereplay.com, because I spend 5 hours, and you can make, I don't know if anyone will be able to understand me if you make me talk faster, but there is a way to increase the speed of the videos, and you can get that on your phone, and you can go for a walk, and you can listen to the idea and get a gist, the gist of how to do that. And the thing is that clients are really everywhere when you know where to look. They really are. And the reason I want you to get really good at talking about your work is because I gave you this example last week. So imagine 2 friends are having lunch and they're talking, and one of them says to the other, I need a new dentist. Do you like your dentist? And they say, yes, I love my dentist. Here's her name. And so these 2 women or these 2 friends are talking to each other. They're referring their dentist. The dentist is getting new business. He's not even in the room, right? He or she is not even in the room. And that's how it works. And so that's why I want you to be prepared for that question. And that's why we spend a whole hour talking about that on day 2. So definitely check that out. Now, I call this sprinkling. Sprinkling to me sounds a lot more fun than marketing. And, I hear people say, I do my marketing on Tuesdays. And I don't really understand that, because sprinkling is something that you do every day, a little bit here, a little bit there. You're just like really planting seeds everywhere in your life without selling. There's no selling here. I do not sell. I do not like it. In fact, I quit a well-paying job when I got promoted to sales. I just got another job. I was like, I'm out of here. And I loved the people. I loved the company. I just didn't want to be in sales. And they thought I would be great. I'm like, I don't want to be great. So sprinkling is a way for me to do this, to spread the word and not feel icky. And the sprinkling method is so important that there's 2 full modules in VA school that are just dedicated to this. The first one will get you started and get the word out there. And then a couple modules back, there's a second one that's like very next level. All right. How much money can I earn? All right. So I do want to hear in the comments, you guys, if this answer surprises you. Just say yes or no. It depends on your confidence. It really depends on your confidence. More than anything, because we make up how much our value is, and it's funny because I was just talking to Danny Burt, we had some time together. We talked about VA school and her big success. She just had her biggest financial month of her life, double what she made when she had a job. Even when she had 3 jobs, it was double. And I'm so excited for her. And so we were just chit chatting a little bit afterwards, and she started to explain to me what she was doing. And I said, "You got to raise your rate. Like I'm thinking like $35 an hour raise, and raise it more that much." When I started to hear about that, and when we do this alone, we don't. I've worked with hundreds of VAs. I know what's out there. And I've had hundreds of clients. I know what people will pay, and I know where the clients who will pay are. And it's not like I said in the Facebook groups, but it does depend on your confidence. Now, here's what I did. So I was in corporate. I was doing okay. I was making about 100, not about. I was making, I think, something like $110,000, $105,000, something like that. This is a long time ago. And so when I started out, I thought, all right, that's $50 an hour. The market has paid me $50 an hour. Why would I charge less? Because what people are paying for is my brain, and my brain is worth $50 an hour. Now, if you've never made $50 an hour, that doesn't mean that your brain isn't worth it. You're just going to have to convince yourself a little bit more, because I had proof, and proof is always great, right? But I could be your proof. I can be your proof. I can tell you. All right. So I decided that I would go out at $50 an hour, and I had no problem getting clients. No problem. So Tamar, hello, you are here. Confidence comes from doing the work. When you see what you can do, you will be more confident to charge what you are worth. That is absolutely right. That is absolutely right, Tamar. Confidence comes from doing the work. A lot of people think they want to wait till their confidence goes up, but that's kind of like in a vacuum. It's kind of in a vacuum. You have to get out there. And Samantha says, convincing myself to charge more is so hard. I've already upped my rate and haven't launched yet. That's good though. That's good. So I don't want you to work for testimonials ever. I don't want you to give a discount when you're just getting started. Okay. You don't need to have a friends and family rate. Okay. I don't have a nonprofit rate. I give back to my community. I volunteer. My daughter worked at a nonprofit. I mean, she didn't, well, she does work there now, but she took riding lessons at a nonprofit barn. And I was on their marketing committee. I did their newsletter. I updated their website. I provided many, many hours of support, but I didn't get hired on purpose and give a nonprofit rate, because that's a tax structure. It's not that they're not making money or they can't make money. It's that it's a different way of paying taxes. So don't get tangled up in that. They don't give rates for people who work at nonprofits at the grocery store. So really, I don't know if that just made sense, but my point is, you need the amount of dollars that you need, and don't feel like if just because someone's doing good work that you have to work for them for free. Okay. And the thing about the discounts is that what you're doing when you give a discount is you're letting people know, you're telling them that your rate's negotiable. And I don't want it to be negotiable. I definitely do not want it to be negotiable. Okay. And so I started at $50 an hour. I raised it over time pretty quickly. And my rate is now $90 an hour when people buy 10 hours of my time. And when they buy 5 hours of my time, it's $100 an hour. And I have had no trouble bringing on new clients at all. And the reason that we have 11 videos in VA school just on this topic is because it's a tricky one. It's tricky to navigate, and we spend a lot of time in VA school talking about it. What training is required? Okay. So you can start from where you are. And I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. But here's the thing. And I'm not trying to be funny, but you can't really start from somewhere else anyway, right? And for those of you who are trying to learn all the right skills and all the things, there is no ideal set of skills to have. And what we call that is procrastinating. I'm just going to learn this, and I'm going to learn that. I'm going to try this, and I can't possibly go out unless I know that, and my website's perfect and all that. But procrastinating is one name for it. The other, I call it setting the table. you know, you're moving the spoon, you're moving the fork, you're trying to decide what you're going to do, and you just really need to get out there and take a bite. And it's scary, but that's why the support that I'm offering you is right here. Okay. So here's what you need to get started, and that's really one service, just one to get you started. And I know that you're probably surprised by that. And the other thing is that you know, once you start making a list of what you can do, you're going to be really surprised about how many things you can do. And I want to tell you about this because I didn't mention this, but this is important. So I'm so excited about this. I can't wait to get started, actually. So VA school is not a static moment in time. It's not the thing that I worked on a year ago and it hasn't changed. It changes all the time because we're updating things. We're adding new templates. We're adding new modules. And as the world changes and as we all learn new things together. And one of the things that I noticed was that a lot of my VA school students had not been in the workplace for a while, and they were pretty scared and they didn't think they had anything to offer. And I know that they do, and I can see it, but they can't see it themselves and they're so scared. So a new module, I'm not sure if it's going to be a module or a standalone course, but it's going to be part of VA school for everybody who's in VA school. And it's going to be called Foundational Virtual Assistant Skills, 10 basic services you can offer to clients right now. And this is the outline of the course on these Post-its. And the thing that's cool about it is that I asked some of my students, what are some basic things that you do that you can make money at that people might not think are skills for a virtual assistant? And they're things like how to send a professional email. Another video will be how to send a calendar invite, and calendar management, because there's definitely a way to do that. I don't know about you, but if you've ever gotten a calendar invite from someone, it says meeting with Belinda. Well, that's because they're putting it on their calendar and they're not thinking about me. So it doesn't say Belinda and the other person's name. It says meeting with Belinda. So I'm going to show you how to do these really basic things that make a big difference. I'm going to teach you how to monitor a calendar, an email account for a client, because often they want you to do that. PowerPoint basics. What are the basic things you need to know about PowerPoint? I said 10 basic services, but I have a feeling this is going to explode because I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. So this is something that's on its way. So I just wanted you to know that. Now, if you don't already have it, if you go to thevaconnection.com, I have something called the Ultimate Virtual Assistant Money Making Task List. I'm just going to double check that that's on the website right now because we were moving some things around. Yes, it's scroll down a little bit. It's in the middle and on the right. Download that list, and what you're going to see is page after page after page of services that you can offer to a client. Now, this is not a list of everything you need to know. I've been doing this 11 years. There's a whole bunch of things in there I either can't do, have no interest, or don't have the skills to do. So the idea is just to get your brain going about what you possibly can do. All right, what you possibly can do. Yeah, and the thing is that it doesn't matter if you've worked in an office before. I was mentioning Diane earlier, who's a hair, she does the hair, but it doesn't matter if you've worked in an office. That doesn't really give you a leg up. It doesn't matter if you were a school teacher, a healthcare worker, worked in retail, a restaurant, a bartender. It's really about offering everyday things that you can help clients with right now. Okay, so grab that list. All right, can I work part-time? Yes, absolutely. You're going to need to consider the type of work, okay? So if you have a client which I have a couple of these, who needs me every few hours, and it's scheduling meetings or checking this calendar, things like that. If you're working part-time, this is not your ideal client. But there are so many clients who, for example, will say to me on Monday, hey, I'd like to publish my newsletter on Thursday. Does that work for you? That gives me 4 days. 4 days to do it. The work is an hour. I can totally do it, right? So I just schedule it into my life. So you want to consider the type of work and set expectations. Don't tell someone that you're going to be at your desk all the time when you're only going to be there in the evenings from 7 to 9, right? And depending, and most people are not going to be bothered by that. My clients rarely need me during the workday. They send me work, I send it back to them, I communicate with them via email, and that's really all it takes. You do want to have a consistent schedule, and you want your clients to know when they can reach out to you, and when you're going to be able to reply. So make sure that you set a consistent schedule. It can change, like if you decide to take a day off, or you're going to go out to lunch, or whatever it is. It's not to be rigid, but it's to just let them know when they can reach out to you. All right. And then the last question is, who hires virtual assistants? And it is across so many industries. So small business owners, authors, financial planners, coaches, consultants, nutritionists, recruiters, real estate agents. Like, really, so many people hire VAs, and I've hired them in the past. I thought I wanted to start an agency in 2016, and I decided I did not. I really like doing the work myself. But at that time, I thought that was a great way to grow my business. And so I hired 2 VAs to help me. So really, you can be the VA for a VA. That's absolutely a thing. All right, so I want to hear, what you guys are thinking about. Okay, what are you thinking about? What are your questions, comments? And please, don't be shy, because I really want to know, if there's some hole that I'm missing in this discussion, because I want to make sure I can help you. So again, if you don't want to do this alone, join me for VA school so you can skip the struggle and just get started. We're gonna tee it off tomorrow. If you can't make it tomorrow, that's perfectly fine. It's just really an intro session that you can watch later over the weekend, whenever it's convenient. It's a 6-month program where I'm going to teach you everything I know to start, grow, and scale your business without feeling overwhelmed, without feeling confused, and really not feeling alone. And everything is easy to implement once you get started. If you want to talk to me about it, this is not a sales call. I'm not going to twist your arm in any way, but text me and let me know. That's my number right there. And I'll be happy to talk to you. I've talked to a bunch of you who have signed up, and it's very exciting, very exciting. And for everyone who signs up today, by the end of the day, you'll get this super duper bonus on discovery calls, what to ask, what not to ask, all the things. And we're going to do some role playing, so that'll be kind of fun. And this is the right slide. So 6 payments of $279 or 1 payment of $15.97 will get you access to everything that you need to get your business right where you want it. Okay? So thank you for coming today. Thank you for your participation. I really appreciate it. You can still do the homework if you'd like. That would actually be great in terms of getting started. Tonight, we're going to have one more session together at 8:00 p.m. It's called Office Hours. It'll be on Zoom. We had one last night. It was really fun. So join me at 8:00 tonight, and we'll hang out together. And mostly, I would love for you to join me at vaschool.info and let me help you with your business. Okay? So think about, if you want to be a VA. If you're thinking about waiting, ask yourself what's going to change between now and next time. And if you're going to get some big pile of cash, great. But I think the bigger question is, if not this, then what? If not this, then what? And I would love to get started with you. So we have a comment. Let's just see what this is. Hello, Tamar. You're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure. Okay, guys, you know where to get me. Bye for now.